Well, hello there. In today's video, instead of sharing my stories, I wanted to share some Reddit stories written by other executive assistants asking for advice. Let's get started, shall we? When to give up on a raise. I have been with this company about a year and a half and haven't received any raises. I'm far under market value for my role and have 5 years of experience. I asked for a raise on December 21st and my boss told me I deserved it and she was going to check with the CEO. I never heard back, so I sent a follow-up email January 9th. She responded and said she was talking with the CEO today. 2 weeks to the date, I still heard nothing, so I followed up again. Received no response. I feel really disrespected by this. At what point do I give up? Should I follow up again? For context, I really do want to stay with this company. There's an update from this OP. I'm making about 20k below market value in one of the most expensive cities in the world, doing almost double the amount of work that was described to me. So yeah, I'm expecting a huge raise that she already said she would advocate for me to get. Several others asked and got an answer in just a few days. Here's a few comments that this person received. Keep asking, but start looking. I swear some companies only give raises when you have another offer. Update your resume and jet. When companies show who you are, then believe them. I think you're being a bit unrealistic about your expectation. December 21 to 2 January doesn't really count. That's a Christmas break, end of year, etc. So let's say the first week of January is realistic when this became a thing. It hasn't been that many business days and I don't know of any companies that move that quickly with approving raises. And unless what you've been doing for a year and a half is way different and above beyond what they hired you to do, you shouldn't expect some huge raise. So if money is the issue, you might as well start looking for a new job that starts at the pay you think you deserve. I personally don't agree with this comment because I don't think she is being unrealistic about her expectations. They should have got back to her, even to say that they're looking into it. And why shouldn't she expect a huge pay rise if she is way under the going rate? Why oh why were you downvoted by this? I swear there are snobby EAs and executives in this sub who just don't want EAs to succeed financially in this unreasonable economy and knowing damn well EAs are the facilitators of executive officers. Am I being sensitive? My CEO could be worse. I definitely want to clarify that he is definitely not the horror story I have read about on here. I have taken pride in not taking things personally. When he snaps, I chalk it up to a bad day. Give him some candy and a latte and it blows over eventually. At my year-end review, he acknowledged how well I handle his moods, and while he shouldn't speak to me that way, he appreciates my understanding. Literally just said all this a couple of weeks ago. Today again, he directly insulted my intelligence. Frustrated by a situation far beyond my control or his, he actually said he deserves an apology from me for providing him with the information I had to give him. A wrench in the last-minute plans. I looked at him like he had 12 heads and walked away. He caught himself when he was about to call me an idiot and said something else, but I heard it. I am a human being and pretty easygoing one at that. I am regularly complimented by the CEO on job well done. COO, CFO and other execs have told me how great I am and how well I handle CEO's moods. I was gearing myself up to just walk out and tell him how disrespectful and unprofessional he is, but my 4 kids need a roof and food. Like I was just done. I have never felt so bothered about his attitude. I get he is frustrated. I get he has a lot of pressure, but I don't deserve to be spoken to like an idiot when I know for sure I did nothing wrong. Where do I draw the line? I was bothered enough today that I actually copied the portions of his company's employee handbook that he is directly violating. It was bad, and it never blew over. The entire day there was tension, and I was giving it right back to him in the hopes that he would get it. I know someone here knows what I'm dealing with. Any suggestions are appreciated. For the life of me, I will never understand why people don't treat EAs like the friggin' magical unicorns we are. Hey OP, I have to say, you gave him an out then. You said, I understand that he is frustrated and he has a lot of pressure, but so do we. And we don't act that way towards other people. So I don't think he has a real excuse. But let's hear other comments. I had an executive like this. 1 minute she was nice, offering me beverages. The next she would be yelling at me and insulting me. I would call her out. She would apologise, but revert back to her old ways. I started looking for a new job, but she eventually fired me before I left on my own. I would at least start looking. I wasn't out for long because I was looking ahead of time. No, you are not being sensitive. All of your thoughts and feelings are valid. You clearly know your worth. That said, this is one tricky situation to navigate. The fact that you didn't brush this one off says you are reaching a breaking point. I think you need to decide if you want to stay and try to improve the situation or start looking at other jobs. You could do both, and maybe that would be the smartest move. I think it needs to be addressed directly with him. You need to share your honest thoughts and feelings with the intention of repairing the relationship while setting up boundaries and expectations. A tough conversation, but needs to happen. Meanwhile, get your resume and LinkedIn up to date and subscribe to job notifications. You need to feel respected at all times, and this is unacceptable behaviour. I totally agree. It is definitely unacceptable behaviour. Archaic attitudes towards the EA role. I've been a PA EA for 17 years. I had reached the top working for a CEO of a very fast-paced sports company and had amazing opportunities to meet incredibly successful and well-known execs and even a few celebrities. I was certainly pigeonholed and not given as many opportunities to be involved as I'd like, as is often the case as an EA. But I was always spoken to respectfully and listened to. After 2 kids, I couldn't keep up with the pace of it, and now I work for an IT company for the CEO. It is a slower pace, which suits me better, even if the work is less exciting. However, in my 6 months of being here, I have never felt so belittled and disrespected in my life. The exec team are very dismissive of me and treat me like I'm invisible. In the most recent exec meeting, one of the execs has said he was promoting his EA, as, let's face it, she's way too smart to just be an EA. I was sat across the table from him as he said this. I was flabbergasted. No one even raised an eyebrow in my defence as an EA, having heard this guy essentially think I'm not intelligent. At a sales conference, I was thrown out of my seat to allow someone else to sit there, which I would have offered up anyway. But there was no courtesy in it. Just you can get up and give X your seat. These middle management execs are the absolute worst when it comes to kicking people lower on the ladder as they try to climb it. It does not make you look more powerful to belittle those beneath you. Someone told me this is quite common theme in IT and finance, a disrespect towards the EA role. Well, I'll be standing up for myself if this happens again. Treat everyone with kindness. I'm sorry you went through this, OP. I have been in similar situations where, people have disregarded what I've said. But let's hear some other comments. I'm in a tech company. I'm not treated with this level of disrespect. In fact, quite the opposite. And for the rare few tools who don't learn on their own after dealing with me or insist on pushing it, my boss slaps them harder than I would ever dare. I'm sorry, OP. I've been treated similarly awful as an EA in some companies and with respect and reverence in other companies. I think you should seek a role elsewhere. This is the poopy culture there. I'm really sorry to hear. I've worked in finance for my entire career, and I can tell you that for many investment firms, it's the opposite. If you work for someone senior, the role is more like a chief of staff. You'll be treated very well, better than most other people, in fact. I have definitely seen some firms where EAs are looked down on, though. I think this is one of the hardest things to look for when you're interviewing. It can be hard to tell what the culture towards EA is. Well, these were some Reddit stories. I hope you enjoyed them. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thanks for watching.